Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday morning mastermind call for daily refinement. We do this every single Wednesday. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Today's topic is, hold on one second. Today's topic is focus on these four things for reselling. Focus on these four things for reseller success in 2024. Okay, so these are the four things, and then we're going to get into more details shortly. The first thing is number of hours you work each week. The second is number of new listings. The third is the number of orders you had in the last week. And then the last one is average sale price. So this is going to sound interesting for everyone, but you can actually list less items. It can take longer, but your ASP, so your average sale price, and your number of orders can actually still go up. So I wanted to share a spreadsheet that we made for Stasia last week, and it's been like a topic we've been going over this week. She wants to make $80,000 a year. Currently, with the $13 to $15 profit she's listing, she needs to list 112 items per week. But if she increases her average sale price to 20, she actually only needs to list 75 per week. So even though she'd be listing 40 items less, 5 items less per day, she'd actually be making the same amount of money. So you can actually decrease the number of items you list and make the same or more money if you spend more time into it. So yesterday I heard something that I want to share with you guys. Let me hear your opinion. I heard someone who's very successful say that in your first years of being a reseller, you should only sell one brand. Like first year, one brand only. Just because you'll learn all the nuances of one specific brand and you can carry that skill to any brand. But if you never learn that skill of getting good at one brand, you'll never be successful as a reseller. You'll just be mediocre at everything. You'll never gain any traction. What do you guys think of that advice? Of first year as a reseller, only sell one brand. Learn to focus on where can I get this brand? How do I list this brand? And one brand is already very, very, very wide. I'm going to give you guys an example of a brand that everybody in here has heard of, American Eagle. American Eagle makes everything. They make jewelry, they make toys, they use their branding on books, they sell fragrance, they sell sunglasses and accessories, they sell women's intimates, they sell pajamas, they sell sweaters. Most people here know that their jeans sell really well. That's one of their big categories. Sweaters, overalls, rompers. They also sell men's stuff. So that's just one brand. And it's already that many different categories. And if you look at an American Eagle, they learn so much stuff working there. Robert is saying, do I have an example of a reseller doing one brand? I do, but let me ask you guys, what brand do you think is the most common brand resellers sell? I'm sure most of you know. There's a lot of resellers that only sell one brand. It's not Levi's. Levi's is a good category, or is a good guess because Levi's is in the top 10 clothing brands on earth. Robert, you're right. It's Nike. Tons and tons and tons of people go to the Nike outlet. And even though this is not well known on Instagram, because on Instagram, you see a lot of the Nike shoe sellers that go to the friends and family events 4 times a year. But actually, the Nike brand new clothing is the number one thing people resell. Because you can go to a Nike outlet and look in the clearance section, and you'll see a nice t-shirt that says, just do it, or already did it, or hustle hard. You guys have seen these shirts, right? At the Nike outlet, you can get them for $3 to $9. And you can get 20 of them in some circumstances. And that's a lot easier than listing 20 items you got from Goodwill. If you have a full-time job and you go to the Nike outlet on the weekend, Some people are like, wow, this is so cheap. I could resell it for a profit. People have that idea. Have you guys ever been to a store and it was so cheap you thought you could buy a couple extra and make your money back? That's like the mentality. You buy two pairs, keep one on ice. Actually, you buy three pair. You keep one on ice, you wear one, and the other one pays for your expensive hobby. So, Bob, in an entire outlet, you're only going to find 1 to 10 items that match that. So, when my wife and I did it to test it, we went to the outlet, and in 4 hours, we found 18 pairs in the entire store. We looked up every single shoe in the entire store, Bob, and we only found 18 pairs that met our goal, which was buy for 30 and they sell for 70, right? So buy for 30, sell for 70. How many people here would do that? We found 18 pairs, exact same style. So one set of pictures, and it took us 4 hours, right? So we looked through the whole store. We only found one trainer, a women's trainer. We got sizes like 6 through 9, 30 for 30 and the 70. We only had to take one set of pictures. And my wife said, this is not a good use of your time because you have to wait in line. It took us 4 hours to find the shoes. And then we went on a Saturday. So when we got there, it wasn't so busy. By when we left, the line was like 45 minutes to check out. And you can only buy 10 pairs at a time. So we had to split up and buy 10 pairs separately. But imagine if you were by yourself, can't gotta go through that line twice. So 30 and the 70, that is a lot easier than what most people in the reseller community are doing, because that's like one day to make, let's call it 320 dollars profit in one day. But how many people spend 4 hours looking through every single shoe in the whole outlet? There's no way everyone listening right now can go to the Nike outlet and find one deal. There's no way you could look. There's 20,000 shoes in stock. You can't find one deal. There's at least one. And the clothing, the differential is smaller, so less people do it. And Jamie in the chat said that competition makes it really hard. The thing is, this is going to sound crazy, but if you're the best, you don't care about competition. When we went to the store, we bought all of that style. So there's no other people that could have bought any. There were 17 of that shoe. We got all of them. So yes, they're going to release those shoes at other outlets, but like try to minimize your competition a little bit. Imagine though, right? You only buy one of those 17 pairs and 16 other people buy it. That's not fun. Because then that $30 shoe that you paid for, there's somebody online who has it listed for $43 free shipping because they don't understand it costs $13 to ship that item. And they don't understand that there's eBay fees. So they paid 30 and made 27, but they don't know. It's really hard. So that's why I think it makes sense, in my opinion, to get really good at one brand for the first year of reselling. When you work at a job, they don't give you every single brand. You work in one department for many years, not just 1 year. Like one thing I find really fascinating about the people in the group, a lot of people are really successful if they come from a career that they were in for a long time. Right? If you had a regular job for, let's say, 10, 20 years, um, you were in design or marketing or sales or accounting or something, and then you translate to reselling, you're like looking for the methods that you used in your previous job to be successful, which is usually focusing on one thing. So the keys to success are, I'm going to put them in the chat: hours worked, number of new listings, number of orders, average sale price. Right now and Whatnot, I have a rep and they use artificial intelligence to guess what's most important. That's what they came up with. If you guys told me how many hours you worked last week, how many new listings went up, what your average sale price was last week, how many orders you had last week, we can determine everything from that. If you're going to track stuff, that would be what you track. Because ultimately, we do not have more time. I think that sometimes I am mistaken for being really busy. I don't consider myself that busy. I just have priorities that prevent me from working more. I only have a certain number of hours I want to work each day. And then if it doesn't get done, I have to work on other things that have to get done. So, and for me, I have to get done family stuff. And then whatever time is left, I can give to my business. The sacrifice is, oh, so here we go. Robert says he had 26 orders, $1,300 in revenue, $50 average sale price last week. Okay, so the last piece would be how many hours did Bob work last week, and how many new listings went up? 20 hours. That's fantastic. And once we know how many new listings went up, then we can determine what to do this week. Without this information, it's really hard to give advice because you don't really know what people are doing. So Robert says about 45 listed, which is around 2.2.5 items listed an hour. I would consider you reseller certified by me. If you can do 6 items an hour, all in. So Jamie says Lululemon is the best selling brand on eBay. Nike is second, and Louis Vuitton is third. That's good to know. Lululemon is the most successful clothing retailer ever, I believe, per square foot. Per square foot. Obviously, when you go to the mall, the Nike one is gigantic, and Lulu is just tiny. But per square foot, Lululemon makes more money than any clothing store ever. They jam pack a lot of profit into a small store. To give you guys an idea, I think the average Lululemon stocks around $200,000 worth of stuff. Can you imagine that in that tiny store? Who here has been to a Lululemon or seen it in the mall? It's not that big of a store, right? And obviously, if Dana said, I'm only going to sell leggings, she could definitely do it in one room. Leggings don't take up that much room, right? And people who use clear packaging, if you had clear packaging with a sticker on it with your SKU, you could put 100 in a bin. It wouldn't be that difficult. What's difficult is when you have heavy clothing items in a bin. You got to dump the whole thing out to figure out what's on the bottom, or it's harder to organize when things are so bulky, like a coat, jacket, sweater, outerwear. But if you sold only Lululemon, like a scuba hoodie, a hoodie would be like the thickest thing that you have, and even those they're pretty fitted and small. I have a Lululemon hoodie that's like it's like the thickness of a Nike t-shirt. It's really thin. Um, so Bob wants to go from 45 listings to 70 listings. So this is perfect because you could determine, is it changing the types of items that you are listing? Is it this week you have a new photo setup? Is it this week? Go ahead, Bob.
So what I am notice if I don't do that and I square up my photos better. Last week, well, I'd say the last 3 days, while I don't like having the gray background, it definitely speeds up my process significantly because I don't have to worry about when I use Photo Room to do the editing. A lot of times with my ruler, it treats it like a bottle, and then I have to, recover the actual photo of the clothing with the ruler. So that does speed it up. So I know that I can absolutely hit the 70 if I continue down that path. It's just much, much faster, even though I'm not so happy with the overall look of it. But I could probably deal with it.
Yeah, and that's a sacrifice that you can consider because sometimes the quality gets sacrificed and sometimes it doesn't. Ideally, it would be just as good, but it really
The
depends.
photos are just as good. It's just me getting comfortable with the look and the feel.
Got it.
It may not be as great with Google, but the actual quality of the photo is fine.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like when you buy a car, you know, the certain colors you like. So I may try to find a little bit lighter gray that might make me happier, or maybe a white background. That when I take the photos, like same type of material, but just with a more white background.
Um, Bob, I think that photo background might be photo setup might be top five most important things. Or maybe, what do you guys think? How important is a photo station that you're happy with and photos that you're happy with? Man, it took me years to figure out a photo setup that I liked.
I'm
Jamie?
probably fine with the photo setup, but it's extremely important. I
Yeah.
probably title and map. Those are my top two.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, for me, I'm happy with the overall setup. I'm just trying to speed up my process, and photo editing is one of my what I'll call a speed bump. You know, when you go through the parking lot, you're
Yeah.
going faster, and then you just have to slow for a second, go over the bump, and speed up again.
Oh yeah.
So that's really what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I think having a comfortable place to take photos and actually being satisfied with the photos is important because as long as you take great photos, I'm sorry, well lit photos that are in focus, well lit in focus, neat. Can I say neat? Neat, well lit in focus. What do you guys think? What else? I think that's solid. Neat, well lit in focus are more important than the actual background of the item. Accurate color. Accurate color. White background doesn't matter as much as people. I would say that a neutral background does matter. Um, but let's see. Accurate color, neat, in focus. What else? Accurate color, neat, in focus. Jacob says he relates it to when he's shopping for records. Pictures really grab attention more than anything, of course. Um, I consider wrinkle free, dust free, all of that stuff as neat. And also, if it's crooked, I think it honestly is a deduction in presentation. Just me.
Or the cute little plant or stuffy you have in the background. What
Could be
stands out for quality item?
yeah, it could be distracting. Let's see here. Jamie says a good photo can make up for a not so good title. Yeah, so you want to write your title as if people can't see the photos, and you want to take the photos as if people can't see your title. Good morning. Russell says lots of items sell every day with horrible photos. Of course. I'm just saying that we're trying to do eBay to the best of our ability. I'm not a fan of doing this person was this person is able to do it without any effort, so I should do that too. I don't that's not what this group is about. But yeah, if you look through the solds, you can tell who's had training and who has not had training. Presentation is everything because they can't actually touch the item. So how do you guys want to track how many hours you work? How do we do that? Do you guys want to clock in, clock out? How do you want to do it?
Would you use a Google spreadsheet, kind of one of those live Google Sheets for that?
I think I would have an actual clock in, clock out service like a company.
Is there an app that you can use for that? So you could use your cell phone as like the clock in device. Everyone has one, and you can just clock in and clock out on your phone.
I think maybe I'm gonna look at interesting because I was just thinking what I care about most for this group is that people get better. I don't actually care how big the group is. I don't think a piece of paper would work for this scenario unless you guys are okay submitting how many hours you work.
Well, if there's an app out there, it might be fun to use that because let's say, like in my example, let's say in my life, I'm out to pick up the kids and I leave an hour early so I can stop by the thrift store near their school. And so
Yep.
I'm out and I could just clock in on the app for 1 hour and then clock out when I go to pick up the kids.
Wow, that's crazy. Lauren uses this time tracker and it has 42,000 reviews on the App Store. Good God. Okay, well, I guess this is important because look how many people are using time apps. I never even thought of this idea in 7 years of talking about this. Because like if you have actual hours worked, because that's what Whatnot wants to know from me. How many hours did you actually work? We don't really care how many hours you're at work. At work doesn't matter to us. We only get paid when you sell something. So how many hours are you actually working? They're like cold like that. They just want to know, are you making us money or not? You're dead to us. And eBay is a little nicer. They're like, we'll charge you listing fees forever. So it's okay if you don't list your items very well. We're going to get paid anyway. I remember when I was at eBay, I was like, do you remember like do you guys realize how complicated eBay fees are? Why don't you do what every single other website does and just have a flat rate and no insertion fee and no store fee? Why do people need to pay to list an item on eBay? No other sites do that. And the guy laughed and he's like, do you know how much money we make from listing fees? Do you have any idea? It's literally mind blowing. It's like millions of dollars a day they make on listing fees. Millions of dollars a day on listing fees. Why would they get rid of that? It's free money. Kim, I do love Juanita's chess clock idea, and I have the chess clock right next to me for that. I just want the idea of the hours worked being an app that everybody could track. So I'll look into those apps today. I would love for people to track their hours. Jamie says we all work in commission, yes. And I think that a lot of people are not used to that at all. I should try and thank you for reminding me that, Jamie. I should just hire only people that work from commission jobs. I'm going to do that. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, let me ask you guys this question. Should janitors work on commission? Should a janitor work on commission? What do you guys think? Dana, you don't think so?
What would be the measure of success for the janitor? I mean, what would his commission be based off?
When it's clean, you can go home.
Yeah, but who's clean? His clean, your clean, my clean?
The established clean from the company. I don't want the person like if it takes only 2 hours to clean the floor and we've determined that it's 2 hours worth of work and he gets paid 2 hours worth of work and he gets done in an hour, why can't he go home? Why does he have to drag it out if they've already established this is the level of clean, which is like no clutter on the ground. It's been swept, it's been mopped. Why can't he go home? Why does he have to stay there if he's not? If the
Because a
company got
janitor, as bad as this may sound, a janitor's a low value job. I mean, nobody aspires to be a janitor when they're a kid, right?
well, but there's people who own janitorial services that janitorial is a huge industry.
Yeah, but the owners get paid on commission. I mean, kinda, but the workers don't.
That's true. I guess he would have to have the opportunity to clean 4 floors instead of two to make more money. Versus that would be a salary position. Go ahead, Dana.
Oh, hey. Yeah, so I thought a commission was if you sold something. So perhaps the janitor owner goes around and gets more
Hmm.
clients, so they would get a commission. However, the workers that do the work are not really getting new clients, so they don't get commission. That's the way I would think of
I think I must be weird. I think that everything
it.
is commission because I think like I have a I'm having people unpack pallets for me. And this guy said, "Hey, how many pallets do you expect me to unpack an hour?" And I said, two and a half is what I expect per hour. And he said, "Hey, if my wife helps me and we do five, can we get paid twice as much?" And I said, "Yes." It's exactly the same to me. And if you
Mm,
want to do five instead of two and a half, I will also pay you twice as much. It literally, it's like I've already determined that's worth X amount of money for me. So even though it's a salary job where he's supposed to do two and a half pallets per thing, I just think of it like he already figured out a way to make his income go up by either doing more things for me or and having his wife come and help him.
yeah. I don't know. I remember when I worked in advertising and design,
Yeah.
because we were creating the product
Mhm.
and creating the service, we had to clock in all our time, which was terrible. I hated it. But,
Yeah.
per client, like, oh, I spent this many hours on this project and then this
Got
many
it.
hours on this project. And let me tell you, everybody was on us to get our hours in. So, because
So wait,
that's the
so
way you get the money.
what did you not like about it?
Um, it's just, just having to sit there and then recount everything that we did. And, once you get in a role, like especially creatively, or even
Uh,
our business with reselling, you get into like a zone, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep doing this and this and this. And then the last thing you want to do is like, oh, let me write down my hours. So it's just kind of
mhm.
cuts into the flow. That's all.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then, it's different, I think, if it's our own business because, we're getting all the money. But when we're working for somebody else, I don't know, it's not top of mind.
Well,
So,
here's the thing. When you work for yourself, you also get all the joy.
yeah,
You get all the joy and all the money and all
yeah,
the heartache. You
that's
get
true.
everything. Um, like yesterday, I was involved in a hit and run. Somebody smashed into my car with a
Oh,
stolen car,
man.
and they messed up my minivan yesterday, right? And you know what? This is, I don't know if it's, I'm definitely weird because what I thought was, I know, right? My new van's all screwed up. The I don't know what it is, but I'm not a car mechanic, but whatever the thing is that makes your wheel turn broke. So my wheel doesn't turn. Anyway,
Mm,
um, I don't know if that's the axle. So anyway, what immediately came to mind was this is the price that I'm paying for what I'm trying to do. Because right now I have two warehouses, so I'm driving between one and the other one to make sure things are going well. And it happened during one of the going from one warehouse to the other. So for me, it was like I thought, wow, this is the price you pay because I'm on the road a lot recently, and so this is gonna happen. It's like getting flat tires. It's gonna be like whatever. I was like not. It just was like cost of doing business for me. I was like
oh,
because
yeah.
I get all the joy of running my own company, then I have to get all of this too. So it actually didn't, it was it just sucked because I had to waste a few hours getting a rental car, getting my car towed. Um, the car ran away. I got the license plate, but the police said it was a
Oh,
stolen car. So but that's what insurance is for. So luckily I'm safe, nothing happened. But also I need to get two new car seats because you cannot supposed to use car seats when they get in an accident. So, but that's covered by insurance too.
it's kind of like the cost of doing business in a sense.
Well, it's
Um,
yeah, and
yeah.
the cost of having babies. You're supposed to
Oh,
keep them safe. So like
yeah.
if your car seats are broken, you're supposed to get them new ones. That's like part of their like if your kid falls on their bike helmet, you're supposed to buy them a new bike helmet. I'll
Yeah,
just use the same one. So it's like the um anyway, it felt like
that
I just feel
sucks.
like everybody here is asked, they want autonomy, right? So like it sucks working for a company when they make you log the hours, but you said, Dana, that's how they make the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, right now, I work for Whatnot. I'm their person. Like they pay me based on how much productivity.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know how many hours I worked. E- Imagine if eBay, when you logged in, it's like, hey Jacob, how many hours did you work today? And you typed in 7, and they're like, are you sure? Because like you where are the listings at? This is what you
Right.
produced in 7 hours. So I wonder if that would be like, because I bet eBay's algorithm can guess how many hours you work.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing about logging in your hours and
Yeah,
things, filling out a timesheet is then the management can check and see, your productivity. Like, oh, how many
yeah,
widgets did you turn out? How
exactly.
many,
How many
are
designs,
you
how
really
many clients?
productive? Are you earning your salary? So
That's
I
right.
guess that's another thing that's, sucks about putting in your timesheet too. You're getting checked.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
how many clients did you serve? How many designs go out? Um,
Yeah,
can we bill this client more?
exactly.
Is that it? That's the
Yeah. And then whether or not, I get a promotion, how many billable hours did I put in, that kind of thing. So,
yesterday I was looking at this. So yesterday I was doing some training, and um, I was watching this Whatnot lady who broke down her hourly rate to $80 an hour. She's working full time. She worked it out. Last year she made $160,000 reselling, and her hourly rate ended up being about $80 an hour. And I was training my staff, and I was like, "You guys are making around $40 an hour." And one lady asked the golden question. She said, how come that lady makes $80 an hour and I make $40 an hour and we have the same job?
mm,
Why? I'm just as motivated as her. Can we do that? I want to make $160,000 a year. So I said, okay, well, I already presented that option to you, which is you have to stream for 6 hours a day, right? My setup is 3 hours a day. So I'm like, we've already figured this all out. If you want to make twice as much money, you have to be on stream twice as long. The shipping part and the prep part has to be outsourced to somebody else. Are you ready to be on screen for 6 hours a day? That's how you would make $160,000 a year. It's already been figured out. And she was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. I can now see what she's doing makes this much money. What I'm doing makes this much money. Now I can see what to do. But everyone in my job, in my company is salary. So they all
okay.
get paid the same amount, but
Yeah.
they could stream more and make more. They get paid for a set number of things that they sell each day. So if they want to make more, they could sell more. And if they want to work on the weekend, it's the same thing. It's just more units. So when you guys decide to work an extra hour or two, hopefully you whip out a few more widgets, a few more items get listed, a few more items get adjusted. But when I was doing the training, there is in California, there are really strict rules for breaks, lunch breaks, all that stuff. So like, so if you work for me, you get about an hour of breaks per day. And essentially, you have to take lunch, but you could, when you're working for me, skip your breaks and leave half an hour early. I'm totally fine with that. You get your work done, you can skip your breaks and leave it half an hour early. One of the ladies that works for me, she does what everyone here has heard of. She works the pay plan. So she does the exact literal requirements that I have, and then goes home in around, I'd say, 6 hours and 45 minutes.
So, under how you pay your workers'
Yep.
salary,
Yep.
it let's say there's one worker who streams, and she only sells 30% of the items. But
Yep.
there's another worker who sells 80% of the items.
Yep.
You could theoretically you could put them on commission, right?
Yep.
And the
Yep. I could.
80% worker would make more money.
Yep. So
So yeah,
I have that right now, since we start everything at $1, everything sells. But
yeah.
the the ability to earn more money is totally okay for me. Like we have and there are people that work for me that make six figures, not 160,000, but 100. And if you want to work more, so okay, this is really interesting because this year has been the year of training for me. I just want to focus on training all year. One of my workers told me, she's like, I currently do not have the skills to go any faster. I look at the other people and I cannot process fast enough. I'm looking through the lots to figure out what I want to sell that day. And it takes me a lot longer to find stuff that is going to match well to make a lot that a customer would like. So I'm taking like an extra hour to figure out what to sell. When I'm talking, I say a whole bunch of things that are unnecessary. And like she'll say her name, right? All the time. And even though that's just 4 words, my name is X. If you say 4 words 100 times, that's like another 15 or 20 minutes. And since everyone here, sometimes I switch out people's partners so they can see other people working. She started to notice all these things. So she sent me a report. This is so crazy. She said, hey, Chris, just want to know you don't have to pay me because this is me wasting my own time. But she has the last 7 days, she said, um, I spent 30 minutes longer, 35 minutes longer, 10 minutes longer, 20 minutes longer, 30 minutes longer, 35 minutes longer, 20 minutes longer. This is the last 7 days to do the same job. She was like, because we're all paid sales. So if she stays an extra 30 minutes, she doesn't get paid more. Okay. Because she's like, this is how much longer it's taking me than everybody else. Right. And
Interesting.
she figured out on her own why. She's saying all these extra things. She's not as familiar with the product. She has a hard time understanding shipping. Not a hard time, but just slower than everybody else. And it's interesting that she's like, dude, I'm working a lot longer for no reason. I don't want to work longer than everybody else. I want to go home. So it's like, okay, but now we have something to work with and it makes it a lot more streamlined because she's staying 30 minutes longer. On average, I'd say she's staying about 18 minutes longer, but she's watching other people go home early. And I think this is what maybe resellers don't know that. They've never seen a reseller get done by 9 a.m. And the hourly thing is, man, I know eBay's algorithm, it could crunch out and let you know how many hours you worked, and it would be really revealing.
Yeah, that's true.
Kevin says, started when the call started, listed 8, packed 11, average sale price 27. Fantastic. I wonder, once you get into the groove, you could probably listen to a call or two while you're listing or photographing. It would slow you down slightly, but you could get into a groove and also put it together. So Jamie's asking if I record my workers to show them how they work and then coach. It's actually a bit unfair because on Whatnot, it's recorded. So everybody's stream every single day is recorded. So I've been giving every single person training every day, at least a text or two based on what I see. And dude, it's kind of insane. Everybody almost sounds the same because they are all following the same this overview that I have. Everyone holds it while they do their work, and they just, okay, I'm getting paid this much money. My expectations are I have to make $1,000 an hour on stream. I need to take my lunch and breaks before or after one of these different things I do. They prep, they replenish, they stream, they ship, and they reset the zero at the end of the day, which is they clean up all the shipping and streaming, they replenish shipping materials, all of them sweep, all of them. It's like insane. And it's just so much easier for them because they have a plan. So when my lady worked for me on eBay, she would take 104 sets of photos, list 104 items, and go home every single day. and she would get done around 7 hours too. But every single thing was already ready for her. She wasn't in charge of getting the photography station ready, if that makes sense. When she got to work, the we used an iPhone back in the day. Now it would switch to camera, but when she got to work, the iPhone was on the lanyard. It was permanently plugged in. So she would get to work. The clothes would already be ready for her because that was my job. She would photograph everything, bag everything, put it into the thing. Then when she was done, she'd walk over to the computer. I gave her own computer, and she did 104 listings a day, 5 days a week. To get approved on Whatnot, I think it takes just a week or two, not too long. Brandon last week worked 46 and a half hours. He listed 16 items, shipped 16 items. His average sale price was $750. Very nice, Brandon. See, with this, you can now determine, okay, do you want to work more hours? Probably not. But here's the true telltale of where resellers kind of get stuck. You see how Brandon worked 46 and a half hours last week. Let's say he wants to double his business. If Brandon wanted to double his business, it would not be Brandon work 93 hours next week, list 32, ship 32. There's no version of reselling that's 93 hours a week. That's too many. You have to think of a different way to do it. Average sale price can be deceiving, but the revenue, okay, this is important. Whatnot only cares about the revenue. eBay only cares about the revenue. You guys, the reason is because they get paid on revenue, right? We don't get paid on revenue though. That's why Carrie says it's deceiving, because we don't get paid on what comes in. We get paid on what's left. Okay, so like we need a little bit more of a sophisticated algorithm to figure out if we're profitable or not. But it's pretty close. I would say that if we know how many listings are going up, if your average sale price is going up, usually that's okay. And the only way for your ASP to go up, so last week, Brandon did 16 items, shipped 16. One thing Brandon could do is if he didn't want to expand in size, he could list 10 items, sell 10 items, and have $1,000 ASP. And that would actually be more money, less items listed. But in my opinion, it would still take 46 and a half hours because you got to find better items instead of listing six more high-end items that take more time to move around. So everyone kind of thinks they want to get ASP and more items. It's not really, doesn't really work that way. It's more like ASP, less items, higher ASP, less items. Okay. But those are the numbers that really matter. Hours worked, and I'm going to look at a time app. I really love that. Because if everyone here is serious about wanting to improve, they would use it. And I know how to get to the clock wizard. Thank you, Melissa. I'll check it out. The I'm just trying to think here. I've only worked one job in my life where I actually had to clock in and clock out, and that was when I worked for eBay. Every other job that I've had, they give you a task to do, and you get it done whenever you can get it done. Like if anybody here has worked at a restaurant, you don't really like leave right when it hits an exact amount of time. Yeah,
No, but you better believe that they made us clock out as soon as we were done with our site work. Like we couldn't go sit down and eat and be on the clock. You know what I mean? If we were done, like, and I waitressed for like 9 years at a place in Pacific Beach in San Diego. And I still have nightmares about being there working and not having clocked in for weeks and being like, what am I even here for? Because I didn't clock in. So I have nightmares about clocking in and out of work. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's like the some companies, if you're not clocked in, it didn't happen, right? So I mean that's a bit scary. Let's see. What do you guys have any questions? I'm done for the day as far as ideas. I just think that hourly rate, number of new listings, number of orders, your average sale price, that's all we really need to know if you're moving in the right direction. I guess the same thing would be for if you were working for a design firm, it would be hours clocked, hours, it would be hours billed and number of new clients probably. There's not really that many more. What have you done for me lately? That was last week. That's what it would be like on Monday from your manager. But that's kind of how eBay is. What have you done for me lately? I have an email I can share with you guys. It says, good morning. I hope this email finds you well. We started our eBay business at the past month following your YouTube advice. When we switched to your triple threat method, we went from selling 0 items in 1 week to 57 items the next week. Okay, right? 0 items to 57 items a week. My triple threat method means markdown, promoted listings, coupon. That's a low hanging fruit, right? So this person did a markdown, coupon, promoted listings. They went from 0 sales to 57 sales. Here's the follow-up question. The following week, we went back to 0. It's been like crickets. Have you seen this before? We haven't listed any new items. Is there a way to fix this? What do you guys think?
They need to be consistent and be listing new items.
I know. They literally answered their own question in the email.
And all their good stuff's probably gone now.
All their good stuff is probably gone. It was just priced too high. So that's it. How could they continue that pace without the same input? The correct email is, if you want the same results, you need to. Oh, I'm sorry. They've been listing on eBay for just actually, wow, they've been doing it for a while. They have 3,600 items in their store, so a big store. If they wanted to replicate the results, what they would do is list another 3,600 items poorly, then do the triple threat method again. They would get their 57 sales in a week again, and then it would go back to crickets. They want them to do the exact same thing. That's not what I would recommend. The triple threat method works, but you got to continuously put new stuff in. And for them, with 3,600 items, you shouldn't have 0 sales. So you should go through and figure out what's wrong with your store.
Hey, Carrie, is now a good time?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'd like to get this, Chris. Okay, so a little bit of background. On Monday during Carrie's call, we had a conversation about how hard it is to get a hold of an eBay customer service rep, a real person. And I came to the defense of eBay because I've never had a problem. And then it turned into the chatbots and the AIs and evil world takeovers. Haha. So what I did was I told the group, I said, hey, I will make a video of me getting a hold of a customer service agent to tell you how easy it is and how you do it. That was Monday. I did it on Monday. I did it on Tuesday. Tuesday twice, and I recorded the second one. Each time I called using the right techniques to fool the AI chatbot, I had a customer service rep on the phone in under 3 minutes. in this video you're about to see, I did it in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So here, I'll just play it. All right, everybody. The other day I was on an eBay call and several people commented on how impossible it is to get an actual live customer service representative on the phone. I disagreed 100%. Everybody told me I was totally wrong. So in this video here, what you're seeing is me going to the customer service page.
I lost the audio.
They gave me the automated, good now, the automated responses here. See, so I moved the camera over so you guys can see better. I'm sorry, I should have made a better video with this, but this is what you got. Okay, so I typed in shipping issues. It came back to me and said that the AI system would like to help me if it can. And I typed in shipping issues, need agent help. And then enter. And then it came up with a box of choices for me. It's trying to guide me to something that it can answer. So these new AI chatbots that everybody is so frustrated about not being able to get a hold of them. The only thing you have to do is prove to the chatbot that it cannot help you. If you're answering its questions in a way it wants you to, because it's guiding you to get something that can help you without an actual live customer service representative. So you see how I'm going through, and there really wasn't a good option to pick here. They're really generic options, and then they refine it down the further you go. So I just clicked on shipping help. And then as you can see here, it said I'll get a call back. The customer agent will call me back within 4 minutes. It asked me to verify my phone number with my account, which I did. And then there we go. The chatbot said you will be getting a phone call for the next 4 minutes. Please watch your phone. It'll be coming to this phone number. It's 3:57 p.m. on January 30th of 2024. And then we go to my phone. So I put it on the phone. Honestly, I wasn't 100% sure they were going to call me back within 4 minutes. But with my previous experience with eBay, they always have called me back within the window. So it's not that eBay is inaccessible. You can get to eBay. You just have to get through their firewall. And right now, their firewall is the chatbot. And it's extremely easy to get by. Just disagree with it. And in every message you send, type in at the end, need agent help. Those 3 words at the end of every, and don't directly answer their questions from the chat bots. Always make it sound like whatever they just said to you didn't make any sense to you and it didn't help you, and tell the chat bot that. And we're coming up here. I think it took about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to get the call back. But if we watch the phone here, should be coming through anytime. Anytime here. Let's see, 57. Oh, 59. Oh, we're gonna giving you the clock audio. And there's eBay. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. So this is ED Customer Service. My name is Jocelyn, honoring your request for callback. Now for security, may I please have your first and last name?
There it is.
So I just wanted to share that with you guys because there were quite a few people that were very adamant that I was wrong. And all you have to do is confuse. If you want to get a live person on the phone, you can do it almost immediately. All you have to do is confuse the chatbot. You make the chatbot believe there's nothing it can do to help you, and then it automatically defaults to having a customer service agent call you back. And that's how you get somebody on the phone.
Thank you, Jamie.
I can vouch for that 100%.
I love it. Don't file a copyright strike.
What's that mean?
That means you use your video in my video, so you're gonna get a notification that I stole your content.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, it's not the I haven't really had any issues with that because I just put call me back. But I understand that the automation is going to try and prevent the actual rep from getting a hold of you. So you can do a version of repeatedly asking for an agent, or having a specific question that the AI can't answer, and then it will default. Those are good tips. Those are good tips for customer service in general, since everything is moving towards automation. Very difficult. A lot of companies do not even have phone support. So,
hey, one other thing, the automated ones that you talk to, like when you're calling a company and it gives you a chat bot, if you repeatedly swear, it'll default to an agent. That's real. I've tested that. It works.
man, you're an expert in this customer service, Jamie. I feel like I haven't had that many issues that I need to know that much about it.
Well, I want to defend myself here. Neither have I. I had 2 returns last year. So it's not like I have issues. I just have experienced that every time I call eBay, I'm more advanced. But you just need to know how to use those tools against, I don't want to say against them, but to work for in your benefit. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I can't wait to look into this time app thing, and I gotta do it so it's not painful though. I don't want it to be painful like Dana described. I want it to be like a happy, revealing type of thing, not a oh, I have to clock my hours for this stupid company.
You know how you should figure your hours out?
Yeah.
You should minus the hours you sleep. And the hours you're awake is the number you divide by.
Yeah, that's true. Because you're choosing to like you're choosing to do other things. All right, I'm gonna roll.
Good morning. Good stuff this morning. That was actually tied well into the topic we had today. So I will start off with just general questions. And then if Jacob can stick around for a minute, we were going to look at a sweater of his. Are you in a hurry? If you're in a hurry, we'll do yours first.
I am not in a hurry. I have all the time today.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So anybody have any just generalized questions this morning, or any remarks about this morning, or anything we need to go over? Otherwise, we have one story view to do in Poshmark. And then, yeah.
Question so, Cashmere Poncho Lady came out of the woodwork and asked for, just said I was away on a family emergency and blah, 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 big long paragraph. And when I get home, I'm going to discard the item. I was like, okay. So I didn't respond back yet because what do I say? Thank you. Good luck. Sorry about that. I really don't know what to say, but I'm a little worried she might leave me a negative because she never opened the return and she had 30 days. So, plus she contacted me 3 days before and I reminded her, okay, don't forget to open the return before the 30 days. And now we're a week and a half past the 30 days. And she wants to be mean to me or pity me, like, woe is me. I had a family emergency. I couldn't bother to possibly click a button on eBay.
But
Because if she
for all
would've-
you, I don't think it's your fault. I mean, for all you know, she had it freight forwarded and she's in a different country and that's why she didn't open a return.
Yeah, so now I don't know if she is going to leave me a negative, but I don't know how to respond. And I feel like she could.
She could, and I disagree, Mimi. I think that she's gonna play hell getting it removed if they don't open the return.
That's what I mean. She never bothered to open the return. And it's like, I have no proof to stand on except these messages that were sent back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, like we can provide amazing customer service and they aren't removing things anymore.
So I'll keep you updated
Mimi,
if
all
she gives
she's
me a negative.
I
I'll
mean,
keep you
I just went through this and I had repeatedly said I would be so happy to refund your money. Please open the return. Please open the return. I'd be happy to refund all your money. Please open the return. I'd be happy to refund all your money. And then on the last day, I went ahead and refunded all the money without the return, and eBay still won't get it removed. So I do believe that and I think, it's hit and miss. You can get lucky and still get somebody, but they are being I mean, I think people have been dealing with trying to get things removed lately. I think you play hard to find somebody that says it's super easy anymore because it's not. It's just not. I did everything I was supposed to be doing. They looked at the messages and said they still can have their opinion and you can't force